Jets, I hear them say it now.
Jets, white, green, just green and white. Tell me, have you ever seen a team take flight? Super Bowl dreams are still in sight. All we gotta do is win tonight. White, green, just green and white. Tell me, have you ever seen a team take flight? Super Bowl dreams are still in sight. All we gotta do is win.
What is going on, YouTube? Back here for another video. Before we do anything, please subscribe to the channel, like the video if you actually liked it. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at TurnUpTheJets, all one word, same as my YouTube channel at TurnUpTheJets, all one word. And we are here because the schedule was released yesterday / leaked, I guess, before they even had that show on ESPN and NFL Network at 8 Eastern time, I think it was. The schedule was basically already released, and every team in the NFL and every fan in the NFL knew who their team was playing against in the 2023 season. I definitely wanted to just give my initial thoughts about the schedule. I know a lot of people have been overreacting that the Jets have a tough schedule. I have a strong opinion in regards to that. But the fun part of doing this is how social media teams on Instagram and on Twitter, you know, kind of put together a nice project of releasing the schedule in a creative way. And the Chargers have been the alphas the last 2 years of releasing their anime videos, of showing, a clip for each team that they play. The Titans was very creative as well. They actually went downtown Nashville or Broadway Nashville, whatever they call it, and really talked to fans who probably weren't fans, I guess, bystanders, citizens of the Titans community or Nashville community. I'm really butchering this. But anyway, people who aren't football fans, right? Who live in Nashville, aren't football fans, probably only familiar with the Titans. They were trying to name the logos, and it was really funny. They called it, the Jacksonville Jaguars logo, Cheeto, Chester Cheeto. That was a funny one. It was bizarre. In the Falcons and the Colts actually changed their names to the names that the fans or, the people on the video called their team. So it's all fun. But of course, the Chargers have been the alphas of doing this, and the Jets do play and do host, rather, the Los Angeles Chargers Week 9 on Monday Night Football. And this is what they had for the Jets. And I'm going to hide this so we see everything. Look how creative this is. This is actually insane. Of how much creativity goes into this. You start in the left side. Obviously, it's Aaron Rodgers looking at Broadway. The left side of Rodgers, you got Rex Ryan's Snack Shack. And then you have a picture of Manish Mehta that he's missing. I don't think I can zoom into this, but Manish Mehta on the right side of the snack bar truck, it says he's missing. And then you got all the fun things. I love New Jersey, Gabagool, all that fun stuff. And then, of course, they're taking the shot out of the Cougar thing of Zach Wilson. It was some, I don't know what it was. It was some TikTok that was deleted or something like that. Single Cougars in your area, a picture of Zach Wilson. There's a building that says Darnold on it on the left side behind the snack bar. The King of New York, King of Broadway. I think that was the jab at Trae Young of what he did. The sack exchange, Sabero Pizza. I mean, the details in this is absolutely insane. Shout out to them. I mean, them and the Titans easily won, even though I absolutely butchered what the Titans did. But if you see what the Titans have done, it's really cool. I definitely wanted to show this because this is hilarious. This is really hilarious. They take fun jabs. I think the other one about the Lions in the Chargers one, I think, I don't know what week they play them, but it was like if you have a gambling problem because of Jameson Williams, and this team doesn't mess around because that just happened a few weeks ago. So they're on their game. They're the best to do it. And they actually had the Chiefs-aholic guy getting chased down by McAfee and AJ Hawk because they've been very, strong in terms of talking about the Chiefs-aholic guy because he ran away. That's the Chiefs fan who went to every single game, wore the wolf costume, but ended up finding out he was robbing banks at every destination he was going to get the money for the tickets. Just a terrible person, but they actually took a jab at him, put McAfee and AJ Hawk in there. But the Jets thing is, this is phenomenal. So I really wanted to start the show off, or not even the show, the video off of just this masterpiece that the Chargers social media team put together. But anyway, let's get to the Jets schedule. They have 5 primetime games. That's the second most. And they technically have 6 nationally televised games, as we already knew before yesterday, that the Jets got the Black Friday, the first ever Black Friday game, the day after Thanksgiving at 3 p.m. Eastern time at MetLife Stadium. So technically they got 6 nationally televised games. They have 2 Monday nighters. They have 2 Sunday nighters. They have a Thursday nighter, and then they have that Black Friday game. So let's pull this up. The New York Jets 2023 schedule. A lot of people flipping out that the Jets have a tough schedule. Colin Cowherd, who I am very strong opinion of, I just don't like him. Maybe it's just my bias of being a Jet, but he just pisses me off so badly. He always has, a knack of that he knows more than you, but I honestly don't even think he does research, because sometimes you listen to him, but like, dude, what are you talking about? But he was saying that the Jets have really no shot in the beginning stages of the schedule. You start off in Buffalo, or against Buffalo at MetLife, 9-11, Monday Night Football. I mean, you're getting a treat here. Josh Allen versus Aaron Rodgers, 2 guys who have great respect for one another. Old school versus new school. The Jets, kind of that up-and-coming team this season. The Bills have really just ran this division since Tom Brady parted ways with the Patriots a few years ago. So this is going to be an excellent game. And, I mean, you can't really get better than that, much better than that. I mean, I know a lot of people wanted the Giants and the Jets, but the Bills are still a New York team. They didn't fumble the bag of not getting New York versus New York. The Bills are actually in New York. So there's still a New York team. There's still a fan base that was definitely, like everyone, greatly affected by 9/11. So it's going to be a lot of emotion here. This is a rivalry game. These 2 teams split last year with Zach Wilson and Mike White. The Bills struggled mightily to get anything cooking against this Jets defense. So I want the test now. You might as well. And also, I don't think the schedule makers, if you will, wanted Aaron Rodgers to be on the away team to start things off. Like, they weren't going to put Monday Night Football, Jets, Giants, and Rodgers was on the away team. I feel like they want him to make his debut as a Jet, as the home team quarterback. And I kind of like that better. I would prefer the Jets to be home and to be, actually the home team. And that way, you get the Jets season ticket holders get first bid, because the Giants season ticket holders would have gotten first bid. It would have been a pretty even crowd, but now this team's ready to start winning now, and so is the fan base. So this place is going to be absolutely rocking in Buffalo in week 1 against Buffalo. So I'm really excited with that. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, a nationally televised game. When's the last time the Jets have gotten this nationally televised hype? I don't think ever since I've been a Jets fan. I remember, the back-to-back championship days. They had some primetime games between those 2 seasons for sure, but it's been a long time. I mean, this is going to be the first time you see them on Sunday night in 12 years. 12 years they haven't been on Sunday Night Football. That is literally insane. 12 years. I actually saw a stat that I think the Jets and the Giants, since the 2012, I don't want drought, maybe Sunday Night Football drought started in 2012. I think the Jets only had a few more losses in that span than the Giants. The Giants appeared on Sunday Night Football 19 times. The Jets have appeared on Sunday Night Football 0 times. Pretty crazy, but they get it twice this season. So we go to week 2, and they go on the road at Dallas. Another great game on CBS. That's probably going to be Romo and Nance on the call. I think I actually thought Dallas was going to be the Thanksgiving game, but of course things were turned down once we got notice that the Black Friday game was happening, with the Jets and the Dolphins playing that first ever game. So Dallas, not a nationally televised game, but it's definitely going to be the game of the week, like the America's whatever game of the week. It's going to be something big at Dallas. Jets Cowboys. And then you go to New England. Excuse me. You go back at home to host New England at 1 o'clock for week 3. You see they don't play each other until week 18 at Gillette. So a big, a big gap. Very different than last year. I feel like they played each other extremely close last season. The Jets are trying to snap a 14-game losing streak against Bill Belichick's empire. I mean, can I just please, for my sanity, get that streak snapped week 3? That has to be a win. I'm sorry. That has to be a win if the Jets want to be the team that everyone is talking them potentially being. They have to beat the New England Patriots. So that's week 3. Again, that's not a walk in the park by no means. And then they go back to prime time. And like I said, they break the streak, the Sunday Night Football streak. October 1st, they host the defending Super Bowl champions, Rodgers, Mahomes. My goodness, that's going to be a great one as well. So, I mean, the first 4 games, I guess we'll go to the first 6 because then they go to Mile High, where they have struggled a little bit, even though they got a win last year, an ugly win. But against Russell Wilson, Nathaniel Hackett coming back to Denver, that will have some complications. And then they end their basically first half of their season before their bye, if you will, with the defending NFC champions. So they also host the Eagles too. So this is how I feel. 6 games, it's a tough stretch. That is for sure a tough stretch. Do I think they can get 3 to 4 wins? Yeah, I do. I'm actually going to give you my quick predictions at the very end of this video, but at least they're home against Buffalo. At least they're home against Kansas City and Philadelphia. I feel a little comfortable about that. They're home against those really good teams, and I think the Jets' home advantage is going to play a huge factor this year, just having Aaron Rodgers alone. I know that was somewhere they struggled last season, which didn't really make sense. They were a better road team than they were at home. I think that will change. Not saying that they're going to be a bad road team. I just think they're going to be a much better home team this year than they were a year ago. Again, Aaron Rodgers factor. Those fans are going to be absolutely berserk every home game, especially in the first 6 when you're playing the Bills, the Patriots, the Chiefs, the Eagles. I mean, those are 4 really good organizations. You had 2 of those 4 went to the Super Bowl last year. The Bills won your division, and the Patriots have been torturing you for the last 25 years. So at least you have the advantage there. Week 7 bye, and then the battle of the New York teams that everyone wanted week 1. You get it week 8 at a 1 o'clock game, Jets Giants. Week 9 goes right back to Monday Night Football on prime time. They will be hosting the Los Angeles Chargers, and then they go to week 10 and play the Chargers rival again on prime time. Sunday Night Football this time, the Las Vegas Raiders. Jimmy Garoppolo, I think McDaniels, a Jets team that he's familiar with. Well, I guess the Jets organization, not necessarily the specific team. Week 10, Buffalo. Week 11, they go in Bills Mafia. That's a 4:25 game. And again, you probably get Nance and Romo on that call. And then week 12, we discussed in my last video this new Black Friday game on Amazon Prime at 3 p.m. the day after Thanksgiving. Week 13, they go and host Atlanta and then host Houston. I love that stretch of their schedule. They needed that. 2 games that are extremely winnable. Week 15, they then travel to Miami on December 17th, a week before Christmas. That's a 1 o'clock game. Christmas Eve, week 16, they host the Commanders. I have no idea what their QB situation is going to be, let alone what it's going to be week 16. Week 17, I believe this is the last Thursday Night Football game of the season because I do not think they do it week 18. So they will be traveling to the Browns and facing a familiar face in Elijah Moore. And then week 18, of course, TBD. They do not know anyone's schedule, or rather if they're playing Saturday, Sunday, and what time, but they will be going to Gillette Stadium and playing the New England Patriots. Shall I pick? Let's see. Wins and losses. Again, everyone has known that these have been their opponents for the last, a long time. You could have looked it up before the season started. And I think the only game you might not have known that, or the only team that you might not have known that you were playing, I don't know. They always sneak one team in there that isn't in the division that you usually play. I'm probably not going to be able to find that quickly, but they just throw a team in there. It doesn't look like they did in the NFC this year, but when the first time they added the game, they threw the Eagles in there for the schedule. So, I mean, you knew your opponents for the most part, like what divisions. They knew they were going to play the NFC East, and they knew they were going to play the AFC West. Two pretty good divisions because, yeah, we're used to the NFC East being an absolute joke, the NFC least. No, they're pretty damn good division now. 3 teams represented that division that went to the playoffs last season, and I think those three will still be very good. And the Commanders weren't much off. They literally almost made the playoffs too, and they had no quarterback. They will have no quarterback again, but that's a solid division. And then the West of the AFC, yeah, it underperformed with only the 2 teams making the playoffs last season, but I think the Broncos will improve with Sean Payton. And the Raiders, who knows? I kind of like the Jimmy G, McDaniels reunion. So I guess we'll have to see about that. But again, no cakewalk in those 2 divisions. Like I already said, represent both teams that played in the Super Bowl last year with the Chiefs and the Eagles. Obviously, the Chiefs winning it. We knew these opponents. And my thing is, I'm not mad. I like that they have a challenging schedule. So does the entire AFC East. I think the Dolphins have like the 2nd hardest schedule. The Pats are 4th. I think the Jets are 6th, and the Bills are 7th. I could be wrong, but it was in that ballpark range that the Jets technically have the 2nd easiest schedule in the division, and that's what you look at. You got to win your division. That's most important. You got to win those division games. But to be the best, you got to beat the best. I mean, they got Aaron Rodgers, damn it. Like, there's no need to be the scared Jets fans anymore when they see a good team. Like, if we're talking about that, we're so excited to get Aaron Rodgers to be relevant again and to be going to the playoffs and maybe even a championship run, they got to beat the Chiefs. They got to beat teams like the Eagles and the Bills and the Chargers. I mean, come on, Dallas. Like, they have to beat these teams to be taken seriously, and I love how it's really early on, and then their schedule kind of gets smooth later. And that's really when they should be in the groove offensively, especially with Aaron Rodgers clicking with his new teammates, and then they have easier games. So I really like that. I'd rather get the hard games out of the way, and I love how they go right into it. You play the Bills, the Chiefs, the Cowboys, and the Eagles 4 out of the first 6 games. And the Patriots and the Broncos aren't slouches either, but those are 4 really good teams. Both teams that went to the Super Bowl, I sound like a broken record, the AFC East champion, and then a Cowboys team that was, a couple Dak interceptions away from being in the NFC Championship last season. So I like the challenge. There's no more of this, oh my gosh, this schedule is so hard. What the hell? We have to start out with Buffalo. No, that ends. That has finally ended. That's the whole purpose of getting Aaron Rodgers. So you aren't intimidated by these teams anymore, Colin Cowherd. I mean, he's acting like the Jets aren't a top 3 defense. He's acting like the Jets didn't get Aaron Rodgers. He's acting like the Jets didn't have one of the best young surrounding cast last year with the offense in defensive rookie of the years and multiple all-pros and multiple Pro Bowlers and basically being in the playoffs in December with Zach Wilson, Mike White, Joe Flacco, and heck, Chris Stravler as your QBs. He's acting like the Jets freaking suck. They don't. They have Aaron Rodgers now. So, I mean, he's just automatically, when they play a good team, they just automatically lose? Is that how it's going to be? What's the point hyping them up then? If you're going to put them against a good team, you just think they're automatically going to lose? I mean, I will bet that the Jets at least get 3 or 4 wins here, and let's look into it. So this is going to be a rapid fire. I think I'll probably change my mind as we go, but I'm going to give Buffalo the win week 1. So they're 0-1. I think they beat Dallas. They beat New England. They lose to Kansas City. So they're 2-2, and they're 1-2 at home. I think they beat Denver, and I think they beat Philly. I think the streak ends this year. I think that is my hot take. The streak ends, and I think they go 4-2 in that stretch, a very hard stretch. I think they can win 4 games. I really do. I think they definitely can steal one between the Eagles, Bills, and Chiefs. One of those teams, I think they could win. They got to beat Denver, and they got to beat New England. And with Dallas, I think that's a great matchup because Aaron Rodgers is basically their father. He owns the Dallas Cowboys, especially in Jerry's world. Bye week, I think they beat the Giants. I think they split. I don't know. I think they lose one of these games. So I'm going to put them at 6-3. So 6-3. I think definitely the Jets. I think the Bills beat them again, 6-4. The Jets beat them on prime, 7-4, 8-4. They beat the Falcons, 9-4. They beat the Texans, 9-5. They split with Miami. They beat the Commanders. And then again, I think they split. They lose one of these games. Maybe I'll give it to the Patriots. They split with the Patriots as well. 11-6. That's kind of what I have in my head. And that's what I got here. So they beat the Bills week 1. So excuse me, I'm all messed up here. They lose against Buffalo week 1. They beat the Cowboys and the Patriots. They lose against the Chiefs. They beat the Broncos and the Eagles. That is that win that you say, oh, this is not your same old Jets. They need a win. They need to beat one of those Bills, Chiefs, and Eagles the first 6 games. They have to. They can't lose all 3 of them. I don't think they will. I think they'll sneak out one. I'll just say it's the Eagles for shits and gigs. Bye week, beat the Giants. I'm going to say that they beat the Chargers and lose to the Raiders, just kind of lose a game that they're not supposed to. You're always in for one of those. I think you lose against Buffalo again. You beat the Dolphins. You beat the Falcons. You beat the Texans. You lose to the Dolphins. You beat the Commanders, beat the Browns, and lose to the Pats. So you may say them getting swept by Buffalo. Again, I think they can beat Buffalo. I really do. And who knows? Maybe in September 10th, I'm picking the Jets to win that game. But that's just like my quick rapid fire. I didn't do any, even studying or just looking into these games. That was literally just my mind right now and then. But 11-6, I think that's possible. And I think 10, 11, 12 wins is possible, and that's what you want. Anything under 10 is a complete disaster, a failure. Aaron Rodgers didn't work out or he got hurt, and I don't even know why I'm saying that right now. That's just bad juju. But, the schedule release is always fun. And to the people that say the Jets have a hard schedule, get over it. They've known these opponents for months. Colin Cowherd, you've known that the Jets were playing the Eagles and the Chiefs and the Bills twice and the Dolphins twice and the Chargers. Yeah, they have a hard schedule. But they're not the Jets of last year. They're not an unknown, how are these young guys going to develop? We know what the Jets got. They have a top 3 defense. They have offensive playmakers. They added some offensive playmakers. Yes, the offensive line is the biggest question mark, but if the offensive line could stay healthy with Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback, there's no reason why they shouldn't be going up against these teams and potentially beating them. There's no more, sweet Jesus, I'm Colin Cowherd. They're going to lose every game when they're playing a good team. No, that's not the reasoning anymore. So I can't wait to block him on everything because I just can't stand his fucking puny little voice. He said the Jets were going to the AFC Championship in 2020 with Adam Gase, Sam Darnold, and Greg Williams. So that guy should just shut up, please. You're a millionaire though, and I'm I'm in my apartment talking to my microphone. I think we might have the same microphone. So look at that. We have a little in common, but you made it big. I didn't. I love being here though. Love being on YouTube. Love just spewing it up and really excited for the schedule. Really excited for this season. I think for me, I'm trying to at least go to 2 games. I wanted 4. Look at the tickets. Hell no, I'm not doing that. That's a lot of money. Aaron Rodgers is definitely on the Jets because when you go on Ticketmaster or Vivid Seats or all that, all those great ticket websites, holy shit, they're expensive. But deservingly so. They should be. The Jets should be one of the more entertaining teams. How about that? 5 primetime games and an additional nationally televised game on Black Friday. These aren't your same old Jets anymore. These are new look Jets with Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback, and he's a bad man. He's a bad man, and I think he's going to be focused, and he's going to come in with the vengeance week 1, and hopefully they beat Buffalo. Like I said, my prediction might change. I'm not going to post my prediction anywhere because it's just too early, and I know people are going to overreact in some of the games. But But anyway, that's going to close it up to another video. Not really quick. We're about 25 minutes in. Sorry if you fell asleep along the way, but please, please, please like the video if you actually liked it. Subscribe to my channel at Turn Up the Jets on YouTube, and then at Turn Up the Jets on Twitter and Instagram. Please give me a follow. I am active on both social media platforms. But until next time, we'll be talking more Jets on the other side. That doesn't make sense.
Jets, I hear them saying now.
Jets, white, green, just green and white. Tell me, have you ever seen a team take flight? Super Bowl dreams are still